but the last man alive is Keefe D. Keefe D is a Southside Compton Crip who was tied with Eazy-E back in the day. He was allegedly one of the most powerful dudes in the set, and he's also Orlando Anderson's uncle. There have been rumors about Keefe being involved ever since the shooting went down, and a few years ago, audio from Keefe's confession leaked to the public. Keefe was facing 25 to life on drug charges, but instead of taking it to trial, he took a plea deal and agreed to tell the cops everything about the night Pac was killed. And this is how it all went down according to him. After Orlando got jumped by Pac and the Death Row dudes, he met up with Keefe and the rest of the crew to figure out the next move. According to Keefe, an affiliate of Puffy named Zip told them he had some straps stashed in his whip that they could have, and that's where they got the 40 Glock that was used to kill Pac. They would have probably gone after Pac anyways for putting hands on Anderson, but Keefe says that Puff already had $1 million on his head and they had the perfect opportunity to collect it that night. Keefe told the cops that Puffy originally just wanted them to take out Suge, but that changed after Pac dropped the track Hit 'Em Up. Hit 'Em Up is one of the most savage diss tracks in rap history, and Pac called Puffy out by name when he raps, "We bust on bad boys, niggas fucked for life. Plus, Puffy trying to see me, weak hearts I rip, Biggie Smalls and Junior Mafia some mark-ass bitches." The track was cold enough that it made Puffy want to kill Pac, and Keefe says this is how it happened. At first, it was 2 vehicles full of Southside Crips, a van and a white Cadillac. They went to Club 662 to wait for Suge and Pac, but after half an hour, they still hadn't shown up. Keefe was in the van at first, but the dudes in there were getting nervous about the situation, so he hopped in the caddy with Orlando and the other dudes. They decided to hit the strip and start looking, and that's when they saw some girls yelling at Pac from another car. Keefe and the rest of the Crips hit a U-turn and pulled up behind Suge and Pac, and Keefe passed the Glock to the back seat. Keefe was sitting in the passenger seat, so he didn't have a good shot when they pulled up on the right side of Suge's car. Orlando was sitting behind Keefe, so they tried to give the gun to a dude named Dre who was behind the driver. Dre didn't want to take the shot though, so Orlando grabbed the strap, reached across Dre, and started letting off shots. Keefe and Suge had both came up in Compton and had known each other since they were 7 or 8 years old, and that night they made eye contact right before a bullet hit Suge in the head. Keefe thought he was dead at first. Back then, nobody knew about Keefe's side of the story except the police, but a few years ago, Keefe revealed that he had cancer and wanted to let everyone know what happened. He wrote a book and talked about how the shooting went down, and he told DJ Vlad that when they first rode up on Suge's car, it looked like Pac was reaching for a strap. What a lot of people don't realize is that the Death Row dudes clapped back at Keefe and the rest of the Crips. Reggie Wright Jr. was the head of security at Death Row, and he told Vlad one of Suge's right-hand dudes chased him down and started letting off shots. Keefe told Vlad that a few days later they met up with Zip in LA, and Puffy called to ask, was that us? Zip was supposed to bring the $1 million that Puffy allegedly put on Suge and Pac's heads, but Keefe and the crew never got the money.